everybody. So we're going to be going over lesson 5 of unit 1. And to start with, we're going to be talking about a relatively simple topic, which are technology. Okay. The perpendicular bisector. So the word perpendicular you should recognize because we talked about that in lesson 3. Perpendicular is something that should be fairly familiar to you, if not, we'll go over it. The word bisectors do, but again, we'll cover it. So the I can statements for this part of the lesson are: I can use perpendicular bisectors to prove points are equidistant or the same distance from the endpoints of the segments. So what that means is we're going to practice perpendicular bisectors and show that they go through right in the middle of the segment. So to start with, let's go back over perpendicular lines, even though I think it'd be familiar to most of you. I'm just going to touch on it. A perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at 90-degree angles. So there's an example. You've got two lines crossing and they intersect right here at this 90-degree angle. Okay. So now we need to talk about perpendicular bisectors. So the word perpendicular means it intersects at a 90-degree angle. Bisector means through the middle. So we have a line which cuts a line segment into two equal parts at a 90-degree angle. And here's two examples. So one thing to take note of is this is our perpendicular bisector, and this is our perpendicular bisector. This line that goes through the middle. The segment will always be cut in half, which means we'll have these little sign symbols right here, which means they're equal to. So for example, if I were to do a little doodling, I could say that this is 2, and this is 2. Because this perpendicular bisector cut the segment in half. Same as over here, I can say this is 3, and this is 3. Because it has these little symbols. And perpendicular bisector cut it in half. So let's play around perpendicular bisectors and just practice some examples you might see. So let's say I've got a line segment and I have a perpendicular bisector that cuts it in half at a 90-degree angle. Okay. So let's call this point A and this point B. Now let's say that we know that segment AB is about 4 inches long. Okay. Well, if the entire length, this entire length here is 4 inches long, then what would happen if we cut it in half? Well, what's 4 divided by 2? It's 2. So we know that both of those segments are equal to 2. Now, let's try a different example. Let's say that all I give you is let's call this C and this D. So let's say that I label this section here as 6. Okay. Actually, I'm going to use a slightly different color. Blue. Say that's 6 in length. And I want you to tell me how long CD is. Well, if this is 6, then this should be 6 as well. So that's 6. And if we add those two together, 6 plus 6 gives me, I'll do this first, equals 12. So the perpendicular bisector is just a nice, easy way for us to be able to play around with halves. We know what this half is, we can find this half. If we know what one of the halves are, we can find the whole thing. Okay, so if you all have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you for the next half.